Here I go. I'm already laughing because I'm thinking of the story. I'm not going to be able to get through this video because I'm just going to keep cracking up laughing. Hi, welcome to another episode of Grub Gab with me, Pixie, where I show you something delicious to make and then I eat that delicious thing while talking about various topics. And the reason why I eat it on camera is to make you jealous and make you want to make my recipe. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a ginger and garlic salmon, and I'm going to be talking about family pranks. But before I start grubbing and gabbing, let me tell you more about this dish. It is so ridiculously easy. I feel kind of guilty calling it a recipe for this. I'm kind of feeling guilty about doing a whole episode based around this because it's just that quick and easy. But I've posted pictures of this salmon on social media before and a lot of people have asked me for the recipe. Therefore, I am going to share it with all of you now. It's one of those recipes that it's so quick. If you're really tired from work and you don't know what to make, like, this is it because it comes together in like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's that quick and easy. So before I start grubbing and gabbing, let me show you the recipe, or not so much a recipe, on how to make this delicious ginger garlic salmon. First, we're going to make our sauce. Now, I'm making this for 2 pieces of salmon, and we're going to start with aromatics. I don't know if you've ever seen these before in the grocery store in the frozen aisle, but it's basically pre-crushed and pre-grated ginger and garlic, and they're measured out into little cubes that are 1 teaspoon each. You can use fresh if you want, but I keep these on hand in case I'm feeling particularly lazy. We're going to start by adding 2 teaspoons of crushed garlic into a bowl, or a cup. You're not making a lot of sauce, so a cup is fine. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of grated ginger. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, or you can use a soy sauce substitute. And if you're worried about it being too salty for your tastes, you can always do 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and 1 tablespoon of water if you prefer. Then for a bit of sweetness, we're going to add half a teaspoon of brown sugar. Next, we're going to mix up the sauce. You kind of want to mash those cubes of garlic and ginger to make sure they're all dissolved and melted into the soy sauce. And you also want to stir it to make sure the sugar is dissolved a little bit as well. And you should have a kind of thickish sauce where you can see the chunks of ginger and garlic in it. Next, you're going to get your salmon, and it doesn't matter how it's cut or how you purchase it. Basically, I put it in a baking dish that's been lined with foil because that makes cleanup even easier. And to make sure the salmon doesn't stick to the bottom of the foil, I sprayed it with a little bit of cooking spray. So with the sauce, you want to spread it evenly over each piece of salmon. I kind of go a tablespoon at a time and just make sure you drizzle it on evenly, let the chunks of garlic and ginger sit on top of the piece of salmon, and make sure you use up every last drop of the sauce. It is needed for the fish. And then after you finish pouring all the sauce onto the salmon, add as much black pepper as you want to taste. Then we'll bake it in a 450-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. If you want your salmon more done, you can cook it for a bit longer than 15 minutes, but make sure you don't overcook it or the salmon becomes too dry and too tough. And once it's done, take it out of the oven and let it sit for 5 minutes so it has a chance for all the juices to soak back into the fillet. And that's it. Really, that is it. That is the recipe for my ginger garlic salmon. And you can serve it with anything you want, like rice or noodles and a side of veggies. My preferred way to serve this up is to put it on top of a salad. And since that piece seemed a little big, I kind of cut it down a little bit. The written recipe with all the measurements you need, including how to scale the recipe up for more pieces of salmon or even scale the recipe down for one piece of salmon, is on my website, PixieNoms.com. Ta-da! And that's how you make that quick and easy ginger garlic salmon. Not as good as a salmon that my dad makes, but close enough. So let's go in and take a bite. Yeah, I did put it on a salad because needed to up my veggie intake for today. Here we go. Even though the salmon hasn't been marinated in the sauce, it still had enough time to cook into it, so it's got really good flavor. And it's got a nice balance of that salty from the soy sauce and a little hint of sweetness from the sugar that we put in, just so it's not too salty. Okie doke. One more bite and then I'll talk about family pranks. Let's get to talking about pranks. First of all, I'm not really too fond of a lot of the prank videos that goes on. A lot of them seem very malicious, even though they say it's like for sport or whatever, but there's like a bunch of videos of like significant others pretending to cheat on you know, their partner, and they're filming their reaction, and that's not cool. Like the fake pregnancy pranks, those aren't cool. The pranks that I like are like the fun, the harmless pranks, jump scaring your parents, or, you know, switching things around on their phone so they can't figure it out, or, you know, just a little harmless things that you can laugh and joke about later, and it's no harm, no foul. There's no one injured, no one has bad feelings about it, that type of thing. Those pranks I like. Let me get a few more bites of my salmon salad before I keep talking. I'm going to tell a story under the impression that once my dad hears it, he's one, going to kill me, and two, I will have a hard time telling the story because I will start cracking up and laughing through most of it. So with that said, my parents are coming for a visit soon, so this could be the last Grub and Gab video that I do, or any video that I do ever, because my dad will kill me when he gets here. My family isn't a family that does big pranks. We don't do elaborate setups of things to fool each other. We do have our jokes. We do gang up on my mom, and me and my brother pick on her mercilessly. Sorry, Mom. But we don't really like go through elaborate measures just to fool them or pull off a prank. We'll say something and then, you know, like a few minutes later, like, oh no, just joking, that's just a prank. But very rarely do we ever go through like this massive big setup just to trick somebody or to pull a prank on them. Here I go. I'm already laughing because I'm thinking of the story. It's... I'm not going to be able to get through this video because I'm just going to keep cracking up laughing. I hope you can bear with me. My brother knows that, like, he's probably watching this and he's like, oh, I know this story, because whenever I think about it happening, I just start laughing uncontrollably. So I told him I was gonna do a video about the story, and he said, oh yeah, you're gonna have to edit out like 10 minutes of laughing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna have to happen here. So basically, Sorry. Time out. Time out. I need to gather myself for a few moments. So this happened several years ago. My brother came for a visit, first time visiting California since I moved. Well, like his first time visiting California as an adult, and the first time he was visiting me since I moved to San Francisco in 2011. And I can't remember exactly what year it was that he came to visit me, but it was several years ago. And because I did have some work days that I had to work, my dad also came over and decided to help, you know, spend some time with him, show him around to some areas, and do some things with my brother, since I couldn't be there with him for his entire visit. Oh my gosh. The three of us decided to take a road trip, and we were gonna go through like Lake Tahoe and go up to Lassen National Park and, you know, visit some sites along the way. And for this road trip, we borrowed our godparents' van. And sorry. I don't know why I thought I could tell this story without just randomly breaking up into laughter every now and then. We stayed the night at a hotel in Truckee, which is near Lake Tahoe. And we were getting ready to go to like this gold mining area, like this state park. I forgot the name of it, but it has like, it used to be a gold mine, and then now it's like a museum and a state park where you can just kind of wander around and look at things. So it was very cold that morning. So my brother and I, we got into the van while my dad was like handling the bill of the hotel and like checking us out and, you know, paying for the room and everything. So my brother and I we're sitting in the van, and it's my dad's birthday. It just so happened to be my dad's birthday on that day. So my brother and I were just sitting in the van, we're chit-chatting, and we're kind of, you know, waiting for my dad. He's taking a little bit. We're you know, we have the heater in the car going so that it can warm up the van. We noticed that in the van, there's like these switches like at the way bottom under like a map drawer of the console. There's these switches that are for heating the front passenger and driver's seat. And there were two options, high and low. And I don't know how my brother and I came to the decision we did, but we thought it'd be really great to turn on the seat heater and just see how long it takes my dad to notice that the seat heater is on. My brother doesn't want to switch it on right away because if my dad gets into the seat and feels the heat on it, he'll know something is up right away. And so my brother's like, okay, well, we'll wait till he's approaching the van and then I'll turn it on, and we'll go from there and see how long it takes for him to notice that the seat is warming up because there's a heater under his butt. I'm gonna compose myself for a little bit and get a few more bites of my salmon salad. My brother's sitting in the driver's seat. The front passenger seat is open for my dad, and I'm sitting in the back passenger seat behind where my dad would be sitting. And so we're waiting, and then finally we see our dad in like the rearview mirror approaching the van. And my brother says, okay, reaches over, and he doesn't put the seat heater on low, he puts it on high. We're driving along, we're looking at the nice pretty scenery, and then we start noticing our dad kind of like shifting around in the seat like uncomfortably. And so like he's kind of like shifting around and like readjusting, and looks like he's not having a super comfortable ride. and every time he shifted, I couldn't help myself. Like, I had a smile on my face, and like I had to like kind of like force myself not to have an audible reaction, because if you know me, I am very, very terrible at hiding my emotions. I don't have a good poker face. It's like whenever something amuses me, like it's instant on my face. Like I cannot hold back my reactions no matter how hard I try. So then we're driving along, and my dad asks, is anybody else like really warm or really, really uncomfortable? And me and my brother are like, no, we're fine. We're fine, yeah. So my dad just lets it go. We continue on driving. He's shifting around like a bit more frequently. And he asks us again, it's like, are you sure you're all comfortable? Like, maybe the heater's too hot in here? Something. And so he like reaches over to the temperature control panel, kind of like reduces down the heater for his side a little bit. My brother has to take a bathroom break. He was like, oh, you know, I gotta use the bathroom. So we pulled off into like this visitor center somewhere, and we parked for a bit. My brother goes to use the bathroom. And it's just me and my dad sitting in the bed, just kind of chit-chatting, talking about where we're gonna go and what we're gonna do. In that time, because of where my brother parked, it just so happened that, like, according to the way my dad explained it, like a beam of sunlight lit up this lower part of the control console that he hadn't noticed before. And that's when he saw that there were the switches for the seat heaters for the driver and the passenger side. So he kind of figured out what happened, but he didn't exactly tell us. My brother came back to the vehicle, and he starts it up, and we're about ready to go. And my dad says something. I can't remember what he said, but he confronted us. It wasn't like a huge confrontation. It was kind of like, in the way my dad does, like a snide little question or a snide little comment that let us know that he knew what we did without blatantly him saying that he knew what we did and that he was on to us. So there was still a chance for us to deny it, except me being me, I lost my shit at that point. I snorted, and then I just started laughing. And so as that happened, my brother tried to deny it at the same time, and then when I lost it and started laughing, my brother started laughing as well. So we had driven for like a good 40 minutes with this extreme heat under my dad's butt as we're trying to go along for a car ride. And so I can't remember like what exactly was said or what was done, but I just remember like between my laughter I managed to say, "Happy birthday! We don't have any candles, so we decided to set your butt on fire." And then that's when my brother lost it. I lost it. I was laughing. My dad kind of started laughing and chuckling too. And he was like, just remember, there's several more road trip days ahead of us, and I'm going to get you back. It was... Happy birthday, Dad! We lit your butt on fire because we have no candles. I remember that night, us calling our mom and telling her, well, actually it was my dad who told her first, and said, "You wouldn't believe what your rotten kids did to me on my birthday." And as he recounted what happened to our mom, my brother and I were just like cracking up laughing to the point where we couldn't breathe. Our dad never really got us back on that road trip. You know, we were like kind of waiting and anticipating what he might do to us. But he never did. So I think it was more of like a psychological threat to make us like paranoid about what he might do and when it might happen than actually him executing something. Which is fair play. What reminded me of it recently was my brother sent me this video. There's like this guy on YouTube who does like really bad engineering videos. Basically it shows you how not to do things and why you shouldn't electric engineer some things yourself. Anyway, he did one where he made his very own seat heater. And he ended up like shocking his butt in the video. And it just really reminded me of what we did to our dad. So my brother and I were joking about it. And I brought it up to my dad again. He was like, I'm not gonna let you guys forget that because I'm gonna get you back someday. And to this day, we're still waiting. Last bite, last bite, last bite, last bite, last bite. And we're done. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Grub Gab with me, Pixie. And thank you for letting me share a story of my family dysfunction. I gotta go wash up the dishes, clean up now. So until next time, toodles. Bye.